Welcome to Getting Started with WebAssess, the #1 on-demand pre-employment system. Today I'm going to show you how to get started with WebAssess. It's very fast, it's very easy, and for the purposes of today, I'm going to assume that you already have either a 15-day free trial or that you've activated or that you have an account that you're using that you're logged into. So you can go ahead and get to WebAssess by clicking on My Account and going to the WebAssess tab. WebAssess is the most powerful testing system on the market. We have a lot of built-in consulting and we have a lot of functionality, customization that you don't find anywhere else. And because of that, when you first get started, it may seem a little overwhelming, but I'm going to show you it's super easy, it's super fast, and a lot of the customization you don't need to worry about. It's for advanced users and most people don't need it, but it's there if you want to use it. If you just go to the WebAssess tab and you'll see we've got an overview. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. And then you can read each step. There's tips, reminders, different, just kind of an overview of everything you need right there. And I'm going to walk you through the steps. I'm going to show you it's very fast. And the other thing to keep in mind is the steps that I'm going to show you, you only need to do it the first time you set up a job profile, the first time you set up a test battery for a job. After it's already set up, it's one step. It's very fast. So we've taken a job profile approach, and what that allows us to do is build in a lot of consulting for you. We've taken the typical standard job profile approach where we categorize the jobs by job families and job groups, and have taken a job analysis approach to outlining all of the potential jobs and what kinds of assessments would be most appropriate for those jobs. So if you click on job profiles, the first thing we need to do is build a job profile. And again, the reason for this is so that we can have a lot of consulting built in for you. You don't have to know what are the best tests. So the first thing we're going to do is create a job profile. And this is step 1. And you look at the job families and you pick which job is the most appropriate for the job that you are going to be hiring people for, that you want to test for. So if you look at basically just pick the right job family, and once you get to that job family, you'll look at all the different job titles, read through them, find the one that is the closest to what you have, what you're using. So for this particular example, let's pick vehicle driver. So you just hit select. Now I can keep this job title, I can change it, I could call it vehicle driver 2 because we have level 1 and level 2, more advanced drivers. You can use a job code if you use job codes in your organization. Let's do that. You can change the description if you want. And just as a little preview, you can see the tests based on this job. These are the tests that we're recommending you use for this particular job. And we can change all that later. That's just a preview. So now just click process. And then you go here and you start to create your assessment battery. So click build new battery. And you can give it a name if you want. I'm going to say this battery is just going to be used for a startup. And so I'm going to call it startup. You can choose how you're going to use this assessment battery. I'm going to use it for pre-employment. So I'm going to click that one, then click next. And you'll see all of those recommended tests that I showed you on that first screen. They're right here. So you can just go with the recommended tests that we have identified. What we've done is we've taken over 30 years worth of testing data with tens of thousands and thousands and thousands of testees, and we've done the analysis, we've done the research, and based on all of that information, we have identified these as the most relevant tests that will predict success on the job. So people that do well in these tests are proven statistically, empirically validated to be better employees, to be more successful on the job. So you can go ahead and just select the tests that we have and not make any changes. Most people are probably going to choose that option. So for this basic getting started video, I'm just going to go with what our standard recommendations are and not make any changes. I'll show you how to make changes in the more advanced video. So I'm just going to go ahead and add them one by one. Again, super quick. And we have the tests in a particular order, and we chose this order intentionally. And the reason we chose this order is when you look at test theory, you want to really start out with the easiest tests or the shortest tests, and kind of acclimate people to the testing process. Don't throw them into the most complicated test. So we've taken the least complicated test, Understanding Written Procedures. It is a lower level reading comprehension test, and we have placed that first. The other thing we do is we kind of group tests by cognitive area. So we have verbal tests are usually first because they tend to be a little bit easier to comprehend. And then we have usually numeric types of tests and so on. So we're just going to go with the recommended test battery. These are the retail pricing. If you have special pricing, you can just ignore that. But this just gives you an idea what the test battery is going to cost. So if you look at this, we've got 4 skill and ability tests and a personality instrument, all for around $20. It's an extremely economical system to use, especially considering how comprehensive and full-featured it is. We'll show you all the system can do in the advanced video. You click Next, and that will create the test battery. You can adjust the cutoff scores. Again, we're just going to go with the recommended because that's based on all of our years of research, all of our data. We're recommending these cutoff scores. We're giving you the ability to change these, which a lot of test publishers don't give you the information or the ability to do this. Most people probably aren't going to play around with these numbers, especially if they're not familiar with what a percentile is. Right now, we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to go with the recommendations because that's what most of the people are going to use. I will show you in the advanced video how to adjust those. Here's your assessment battery. This is just the summary screen. We're calling it the startup for the vehicle driver 2, D7890. We're using it for employment. Here are all the tests and the cutoff scores and percentiles. And here you go. You can either activate it now or activate it later. If you want to activate it now, just click yes. Most people are going to activate it now. The only reason to activate it later would be if you want to create a test battery ahead of time for something like research or a startup or a special project. You want to set it up ahead of time, but you don't want to start using it yet. You can click no. It'll create the battery, and then you can choose to activate it later. We're going to activate it now, hit save, and that's it. We're ready to go. Thank you, and be sure to watch the next video, which tells you how to start an administration session and how to get your results.